Can you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and good evening. Tonight is Tuesday, October 10th. It's about 7:50. I apologize for the late start. We just came from executive session where we discussed PBA negotiations. I want to start by just saying Trustee Epstein is excused tonight in preparations for an upcoming event, which we're all very happy for her about. And I would also just like to take a moment to acknowledge the horrific terrorist attacks in Israel this past week, and well, within the last few days. Just the details coming out of this are just unbelievable, and I think a lot of us are used to hearing about violence in the Mideast, especially in that region, and we know that certain things flare up every once in a while, but what we've seen in the past few days is deplorable and has no place in our society. And it's really just a tremendous shame. So, on behalf of the board, I'd like to say that just our thoughts are with anyone affected in that area and anyone affected locally who has loved ones in that area. So moving into our resolutions. Resolution number 1, considering the appointment of a police officer.
Now therefore be it resolved that Angelia Alexander of Pelham, New York, is hereby conditionally appointed to the position of police officer with the Village of Rybrook, subject to the civil service procedures of the State of New York, and in accordance with the offer letter dated October 6, 2023. Be it further resolved that the annual salary is $60,983 with an effective start date of November 15th, 2023.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right. I think there's still a couple things to go before
Yep.
we're all clear, but we're very glad that Anjali is going to be joining us.
Yes. And we should mention that this Angelia is the daughter of one of our current police officers, and who does a great job for us. And we're very excited and looking forward to having her join the force, join the team.
Very much so.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino?
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution number 2, considering setting a public hearing amending Chapter 240, Section 19.1 of the Village Code regarding prohibiting parking on parts of Sleepy Hollow Drive and Lawridge Drive. Didn't we set
We did,
this?
but we missed the publication.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
got
we
it.
have to redo it, so we have to reset the public hearing. But we did notify all the residents on the street who are affected, so this way anybody who was watching it last meeting, they know that it's going to be pushed off to the next meeting.
Okay, wonderful.
Yep. And we'll send another notice out once this is approved tonight, hopefully. That's all right. Now therefore be resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees shall hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 24th, on the proposed local law amending Chapter 240, Section 19.1, establishing no parking on school days from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., and from 2 to 3:30 p.m. from September 1st to June 30th on the west side of Sleepy Hollow, from Dorchester Drive to North Ridge Street, on the north side of Lawridge Drive, from Sleepy Hollow Drive to a point 285 feet in an easterly direction. And I see the typo on 8:30.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
And again, we thank all the residents of that area that came out at our last meeting to have this conversation with us, and we look forward to the public hearing.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution number 3, considering compensation for non-union personnel for the 2022-23 fiscal year.
Now therefore be resolved that the following compensation shall be provided to non-union personnel effective June 1st, 2023. And there's a listing of the various non-union personnel, which in Rybrook is all the department heads and all the department personnel that work in the offices as well. There's all of this is available on the website as well as on in my office if anybody wants to take a look at any of the resolution numbers. I'm not going to sit here and read off each one. It does average, for the most part, it's around 2.75 for most of the employees. And be it further resolved that the deputy treasurer shall receive an additional one-time payment of $750, representing additional work and responsibilities over the prior year. And be it further resolved that the non-union benefits shall be modified as follows. 1, Juneteenth shall be added as an annual holiday. 2, longevity shall be increased to $450 after 8 years, $700 after 12 years, and $1,000 after 16 years, which is, I believe, another $50 in each one of those increments. And 3, frames and glasses reimbursement shall be increased to $350 every 2 years, which also is, I believe, another $50 increase from the current benefit.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Obviously, we have an amazing staff here in Rybrook. I will single out the non-union personnel in this, since that's what this resolution is about, even though we are very appreciative of our union personnel as well. But I think a lot of what happens behind the scenes here in Rybrook, and a lot of the people on this list are who's taking care of that. I think the residents of Rybrook have come to expect a certain level of service from the village, and our staff is able to provide it thanks to all the hard work of these individuals. And, as I said, all the other individuals as well, but for purpose of this meeting, the non-union personnel. So thank you to everyone, and I know tomorrow will be a busy day for you, Chris.
Yes, we'll make sure it gets out there.
And thank you again. Any other comments?
I was just going to say that what makes the village of Rybrook, in my opinion, so special is the quality of all our employees. It's not the Board of Trustees, but it's our employees.
Absolutely. Any other comment?
No.
All right. Greg?
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 4, considering the award of a bid for surplus for a 2004 Pontiac GTO.
Whereas on June 14th, 2022, the village board declared certain municipal equipment as surplus. And whereas the village of Rybrook has solicited bids for surplus municipal equipment, and whereas a public notice was advertised in the official newspaper and listings were posted online through Auctions International with an end date of October 5th, 2023, and whereas at 7 p.m. on Friday, August 17th, the bid deadline was completed, now therefore be it resolved that the following surplus equipment is hereby awarded to the following highest bidder, and it was the 2004 Pontiac GTO. The lowest bidder was
It's
Casaro.
highest bidder.
Highest bidder was Casaro 55. That is Quinn Casaro of 18 Flintlock Drive, Warren, New Jersey, and the bid amount of $9,400. And be it further resolved that this should this bidder withdraw or be non-responsive, Rybrook Village Board shall award the equipment to the next highest bidder. And be it further resolved that the surplus 2004 Pontiac GTO, which was included in the bid notice but not, actually take off the last resolved.
Okay.
All right, and be it further, that's fine. The last resolved is a holdover. It's a mistake from the prior one.
Okay. All right, so striking that. All right, do I have a motion and second, please?
Motion.
Second.
All right. I know this is kind of every once in a while.
We found out that people like GTOs, they don't like old village other types of village vehicles.
Right, yeah, clearly they do. I mean,
That's a
it's the
pretty
old-
good number.
It's the old muscle car. I think a lot of times if you do the New York Times crosswords, it's occasionally outdated muscle car comes up as GTO occasionally in the New York Times crossword.
Ronnie and the Daytonas,
Whose car
little
was this?
GTO.
Little G-
That was a police car, a two-door?
That was a police undercover car, right? A forfeiture. Did we use it for undercover for a while? Yeah. But it was it was a
We had it,
seizure.
how long we
and-
had it? We had it for a long time.
Right.
6 years? Yeah, I remember. Remember when you got
All
it?
right.
Yeah, that might be
Well, we're
this
glad-
might be our highest number we ever received
That's a
for
good-
a regular passenger vehicle.
It's good, and we're very glad that somebody
Seems a lot of people want it.
wanted
Yeah,
that.
there was a lot of
so-
people in that.
So this is great. Great
We'll
news.
take it.
Good sale. We'll take it. Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Wait, how many miles were on it?
I don't even know. It's in there, I'm
64?
sure.
68?
Oh, 68.
68, yeah.
Oh
Not bad for
Not
2004.
that bad,
That's
yeah.
not a lot.
No, it's not.
It's a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Trustee Fisher?
You
Yes.
missed out.
Trustee Heiser?
Yeah.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 5,
This for her.
considering modifications to the license and fee schedule.
That's true. Okay, whereas the superintendent of Parks and Recreation has proposed a youth volleyball clinic and adult co-ed volleyball in partnership with the Blindbrook High School volleyball coach, and whereas the proposed youth volleyball clinic and adult co-ed volleyball would take place from October 10th to December 19th on Tuesday evenings at the high school. And whereas the superintendent of Parks and Recreation has proposed a fee of $100 for the youth clinic and adult volleyball programs. And whereas the youth clinic and adult co-ed volleyball programs will be done in coordination with the Blindbrook High School volleyball coach, who will do it for the village at a cost of $25 an hour. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby approves modifying the village license and fee schedule by adding the following 2 programs. 1 is the youth volleyball clinic, fee is $100, and 2 is the adult volleyball co-ed at a price of $100.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion second, please?
So moved.
Second.
I think it's pretty straightforward. It's nice that we're having additional programs being offered to the community.
Yeah.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 5, considering approval of the minutes for the meeting held on June 13th, 2023.
Now therefore be resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees approves the minutes for the meeting held on June 13th, 2023.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
What's that?
Aye.
All right. And I don't,
No action on the intermediate account clerk.
right, that's right. You told me that. Okay, so moving to resolution number 7, just doing 6. Considering approval of a change order and budget transfer for the AJP roof repair or replacement project.
Yep, and this is an add-on resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approves a change order for the AJP roof repair or replacement project for an additional 120 linear feet of fascia and rake aluminum flashing in the amount of $3,600, plus an additional 23 linear feet of 6-inch white aluminum gutter for the price of $575, for a total change order of $4,175. And be it further resolved that the following general fund budget transfer and capital fund budget modifications to fund the roof repair replacement project as of fiscal year 2023 be hereby approved. And basically, this is a transfer from the operating budget of the AJP in the amount of $775 to the capital project for the AJP roof repair and replacement. And be it further resolved that the capital project budget be restated as follows. Now, the new capital project is for the general fund in the amount for the capital, and then the project is the AJP roof repair replacement. Original budget was $81,300. Modified budget is $82,075, and the total change there is $775.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion second, please?
Motion.
Second.
All right, some housekeeping here, and that's good. I'm glad the project's moving along.
Yeah, that's an active project. They're just completing the work. It's done, and this is just, it was $775 over due to the one change order, and the board should approve the change order as well as the transfer.
Seems like a very reasonable change order. All right, any questions or comments?
No.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Administrator's report.
Okay, first I just want to, this is just informational, but I want to document it somehow. So the sprinkler system maintenance bid has been now bid out twice, and we've received no responses. So now we're going to just go out and get quotes. So I don't need an action on that, but normally when you set up a bid, you need to get closure to it. So I just want to do it as more of an announcement and make it clear. So now we're just going to get quotes for it. The other items, we're going to hope that it doesn't rain this Saturday for some events, but we're having a lot of not great luck on Saturday rain.
Right.
So we have, this Saturday, we have the 9 a.m. pumpkin patch and 1 p.m. scavenger hunt on this Saturday, October 14th. I think we're trying to do the pumpkins either way, maybe under tents if we have to, because they start to go bad.
Good idea.
You know, we just picked them up today, so we just don't want to see them, we want to let them sit there. So we want to make sure they'll last through Halloween and everybody has full use of them. The scavenger hunt may or may not happen, obviously, depending on what the weather is. On October 28th, we have our Halloween, which is a lot of fun with our dog costume contest and parade, as well as the Trunk and Treat, which is a new event at 12:30. So that's on Saturday, October 28th. Hopefully it won't rain that Saturday. And on November 4th, we have our Fit Walk, which is the second Fit Walk of the year at 9:30 a.m. in the Country Ridge area. And then we'll have the rescheduled Rybrook Mini Golf in the afternoon from 12 to 4. So there's a lot of things for people to do if they're looking to get out and hopefully enjoy a nice fall.
Thank you, Chris. Before we move on to new business, I also just want to acknowledge that it has been raining a lot. And we had a pretty major rain event just this past week, about last Friday.
Two Fridays, yeah.
Friday.
Yeah,
Oh,
Friday,
back to back.
A week ago Friday.
a week ago Friday, this past Friday. And, it's the storm total in Rybrook was about 5.6 inches. And so I just want to say thank you to all staff that was involved in every aspect of that, from making sure that everyone was safe. We had roads closed down where they needed to be. We were getting notice out to those on Brook Lane.
We went door to door to ask, recommending they evacuate at one point,
Yeah.
just because it was at the top of the wall.
And the
No,
stream
our
gauge
Public
was
Works did it this time.
monitoring, correct? The stream gauge monitor was.
Our stream gauge, we have a lot more information now too. We have the rain gauge in right at Brook Lane at the culvert with Westchester Avenue. So we're able to get the data from that. We were just actually looking at it today and sharing some of the information with some Brook Lane residents that we met with today. That we're trying to see, about these are people wondering what else is going on, what else can we do, Harrison issues, upstream issues, all the stuff. We talked about everything from what we're doing here, as well as the NRCS program. We also talked about the Purchase College alternatives, what were the struggles we were having there. And so we had a good meeting on that, but there's also a lot more information we have now, right specific in that area due to some of the things we've implemented.
Right, and I think it's important to remember that we are looking at a lot of different options to try and alleviate the flood issues that we've had in Rybrook.
Yes.
And also help our downstream neighbors. But again, also a huge thank you to the staff that really kept everyone safe in the village. I know a lot of homes and areas were flooded out. It's very difficult when we're dealing with this. But, it was, really a lot of credit goes to everyone keeping those people safe, but also then getting things reopened, making sure that we were getting things back on track as quickly as possible. So thank you to all involved. Moving on to new business. We have one item on new business, is report on upcoming Con Ed gas main replacement project on Wyman Street in Roanoke.
Michael, do you want to touch on this, or do you want me to, are you in the middle of knee-deep in it?
Good evening, members of the board. I had a meeting with Con Edison representatives out on Wyman Street the other day, last week actually on Thursday, and Con Edison is going to be doing a gas main replacement from Ridge Street, or South Ridge Street, down to the dead end on Wyman, and a portion on Roanoke over there as well. And heading down on Wyman, the gas main favors the left side of the road, so they're going to be replacing there. They're asking to stage material as outlined in your packet material. They need an area for pipe. They're going to plate the roadway, and they're going to allow for access to residents at all times of the day, emergency vehicles, and for school buses. Being that it's tight roads down there, we want to get the word out, at least notify people. Con Edison did talk to a few homeowners, and Con Edison will be doing a notification of the residents in that area, but they're looking to mobilize ASAP and get this project done. hopefully before the winter time comes. So for the purposes of notification and informing the board, it's on your agenda for a discussion item to discuss this and to inform the public of this.
Thank you, Michael. I mean, it's, I'm sure the residents are not going to be thrilled about the disruption
It's going to
To
be
the sh-
disruptive, it's going to be tight.
to the street.
Are they hoping to do the restoration before the winter too, or?
The goal is if the weather and the temperatures are favorable, yes, we will try to do permanent restoration. If the temperatures are below 50 degrees, paving is not conducive. Plants do start to shut down as we get closer to December. So a lot of it's going to play on temperatures. If the temperatures hover in the 50s, a lot of paving is still happening. Once your road temperatures start to dip below 50 degrees, it really starts not to be favorable to pave and have a restoration job. That's not going to.
So is that more patching if that's the case?
So if anything, it would be the trench work up and down, and any of the cut-throughs to the houses would be in binder, which is a rough blacktop.
But still plowable?
100% plowable. I'm going to speak to Con Edison about plowing. Last time when they did the Brook Lane area, they actually hired a third-party plow company to come in on a snowstorm and plow, so that it helped us, especially over plates. I could speak to them to recess the plates. If the board wants that done, I will refer that to where they have to cut back the roadway and recess the iron plates 2 inches. I could relay that to them. A lot of it's going to hinder on how quickly they move on this.
Right.
Is that asking too much to recess the plates? Is that how come? It's
Maybe
a lot of
easier
work,
if they
I know
can, if
that.
they can hire a third party.
It's a lot to cut back,
Yeah.
lift it up, because a plate is 8 feet wide
Yeah.
or 4 feet wide,
Right.
depending how you lay it.
Right.
So if they're able to backfill with K-Crete, which they have agreed to do, it's in our code anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and do binder right behind it,
Then that's fine.
then you're
Yeah.
better off in removing the plate, because
Right,
plates
right.
do cause issues with plowing and noise, and
So you're talking about getting through the season to recess it, really? If they.
if need be, then yes, that's going to be
No, if they can.
mandatory for plowing,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, I thought you, okay.
But I'm going to speak with them. I'm going to try to get a more definitive project outline
Mm-hmm.
from them.
Okay.
Exactly a firm date to start, and
It's kind of crept up on late notice, so that's why we
It's
wanted to
just
put it
crept
right
up
on.
last week.
We want to put this on the agenda and start getting word out there, make sure the board's
Yeah,
aware,
please.
make sure everyone is, yeah.
Get word out there.
Yep.
There's no action required of
Nope,
us, though.
no action
nope,
here.
it's
We
just
want to get the
bring
word
it
out on
your
this more,
attention,
yep.
because it did sneak up on us. This wasn't a planned thing. They were able to sneak this project in, and they asked for permission if they could do it. So prior to us issuing a street opening permit, I wanted to
Right.
have your blessing and let it be
Right,
known.
and as I said, it's going to be an inconvenience to the residents, but it maintains the gas service and,
And it is an old service, over 80 years old, is that what it said?
I believe so. In
Yeah.
that area, it's the original cast iron.
80
framing.
plus, man.
so
It's old.
better,
So it's a safety concern as well.
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
And they're
Michael.
also aware of the 4 houses at the end who may be buying out, but unfortunately, they're required to run the main all the way to the end and keep the services going.
Right.
So that's gonna go all the way into the end, so.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
If those houses, I mean, this is a completely different conversation, but if those houses do buy out,
They cut it right at
Have
the
to-
street.
They're gonna have to cut the main anyway and block off these
how-
services anyway.
Right. Okay,
That's the
okay.
point, but until that happens, we don't know when that's
Right.
gonna happen, if it's gonna happen, so for purposes of.
no, we can't, no,
continuity,
they have to run
provide
it.
gas.
They have to run it, no, there's no
choice,
doubt.
yeah.
There's no doubt.
And there's no cost to the residents, so.
No,
Right, no.
Not directly.
Yeah, right.
And just
Yeah, I
inconvenience.
guess that's a good way to put it. It's true.
Convenience, we're gonna try to work with the residents and the parking down there, the situation down there and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, thank you for being on top of this,
Thank
Michael. I know you are,
it crept up, so.
yeah.
I should have mentioned administrator's report, as long as they're there too. We also are in the middle of leaf program, start of leaf program.
Right.
So I know that the leaves are still early in the season, but I can tell you we're up north in county,
They're yellow, and they're
they're
dropping.
yellow and dropping.
Yeah, I
I mean,
saw
the
it.
leaves are dropping quick up there. So it's coming, but I think we put one truck out at this point.
Our automated
Yeah.
hook lift is out,
Yeah.
so that's gonna go alone this week, depending on where we are. Next week, potentially, we may put out a second truck with the trailer, but we will see how long it takes him to go through the villages. If he's able to manage, then we may keep the one truck out.
Okay.
Another week and then put a
9
second
to
truck
11,
out
21st?
in a week from
October?
now
All right.
instead.
And one other item, Greg just mentioned to me, so the Bowman Avenue cleanup is also going to is coming up. That's October
Right.
21st. So just a reminder, Bowman in that morning gets shut down completely so that people can safely clean up that street. So
Right.
that's an area, every year we go back, and every year there's tons of debris that comes back again.
Yes, there
So-
is.
And the only one other thing that I want to add with regards to leaf season is, being that we're having these weather events, it's important that residents tell their landscapers or gardeners, please don't pile leaves in a pile on top of catch basins. We do not reroute our trucks. They go on the route that they go. We do our best at what we can to clear open the basins, but it doesn't help when we're going into a storm and piles are on a basin and homeowners do call, say, my gardener put them there. There's plenty of room along the curb to stretch them out. Please don't pile them right on top of the basin. Doesn't help anybody.
And remember, our agreed-upon target, which we set as a policy with the board, was the target was maximum of 3 weeks between collections.
Right.
Which last several years, we've always been able to hit that target, and then some, but that's the agreed-upon, that's what we said, that's where we like to set those examples for the residents to say what they can expect. We do have information that gets on our website when it starts to pick up, kind of estimating based on the current procedures when they'll be back, and you can see how many times your street's been picked up, trying to be very transparent.
Right. And I know in past years, sometimes we've had the tracking.
Yeah, we do. We do it every year.
It will
Yep.
be up on the website. It's up there now. It hasn't been populated yet, because by the end of the week, once we get the leaf sheets, we'll start to
Right.
populate, and you'll start seeing some data in there.
At this point, it would just show going through the whole community pretty much.
Right. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
No.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none. Thank you and good night. The next meetings for the Board of Trustees are October 24th and November 14th, 2023. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.